morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the morning show. It is Friday and we are having a good time, a great time. No, I hope you are having an awesome start to your weekend. I say that, I know most people, you're working, you're doing all that kind of good stuff, but you're leaning into the weekend, and I think that's super important. But anyways, listen, we are getting things started. And at the end of the day, this is all about helping you kickstart your day. We want you to kickstart your day. We want you to dominate today. Okay, you have the ability. You can make this thing happen. It's going to be awesome. But you have to make a decision and start today, right now. Like, even if you are watching this and you watched it later, it's not live. If you watch this later, this is your opportunity to dive in and start your day out right. And we're live today on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and of course, Clubhouse. In fact, Clubhouse, I'm going to bring up the Clubhouse audio because I believe we've got Martinez in the house. Martinez, you out there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm out here, brother.
What's up, dude?
Hey, Friday, man. It's weekend, and it's 5 days of committing to this 30-day
Boom.
And it hadn't been easy, but guess what? Nothing worth doing is easy.
No, it is never. But you know what? On that idea, Martinez, I want to get your feedback, man. What's been going on with you with the 30-day challenge? What's the main thing that you are, I guess, what's the result you're getting so far? How are you feeling about it? And what's been the number one thing that you've had to overcome this week?
Well, I mean, the number one thing is just the plethora of excuses not to continue with the 30-day challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've ran, I've been in the gym for 4 days this week, and I'll probably do a little bit of something today sometime, but, that'll be 5 days. So, and of course, the gallon of water thing is something that is really new to me. Just have to make sure I'm not too far from a restaurant.
Yeah.
Going out or anything like that. Getting up in the middle of sleep and all that kind of stuff, because the body functions call.
Yeah.
And
when the body calls, it's going to be a new show instead of when the heart calls. When the bathroom calls.
Right. But it's just committing. The challenge, the number one is just moving everything off the plate and making time for something that you say you never have time for. And, that's been the major challenge. Just being consistent, something that we kind of talked about yesterday, and that's where I am with that. And I tell you, there's some stuff I need to jump on a little bit more, and that is not so much as giving the body total attention, but giving that mind some attention too, by doing some more reading and that kind of thing. I haven't done that too well.
Okay.
And so I need to pick up on that. I just can't feed the body, so to speak.
No, I hear you right now. Because it's funny. This will be a kind of an interesting conversation. I know in fact, we're going to shift gears just a little bit today, but that's an interesting conversation because a lot of people, I think, go into like getting your, working on your health. Like we're going to run, we're going to, all that kind of good stuff. But the truth is, I think it's more helpful if you get your mind right around it.
Yes, sir.
And I say that because I find that typically what happens, for me anyways, is if I get an idea that inspires me, everything else works with that. Like if I can get inspired by that, right? I'll make an action move. I'll do something. So for me, like, it is like vital for me to get good content in my mind. And that's why I love technology, because, like, you know, it's more like, this is so funny we're here, Martinez, because I was literally just thinking about this. Okay, I love listening to books because, number one, that helps me redeem my time. Like, I'm double dipping in my time. I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm also hearing content. I'm listening. I'm cycling through. Now, reading, I think, is more valuable because I think you can build more out of reading. But for me, I can listen to something, scan it, and determine, is this worth investing my time to read it later?
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think I haven't done well. I haven't caught on the move of listening to books. I've heard someone tell me one time they read 240 books in 1 year, and I'm like, man,
What?
You're a beast. And then they were like, yeah, on audio. I listen to it in a car. I listen to it every time. I'm like, well, that's not really reading. I mean, like,
you immediately took that back, like, whatever, man.
Yeah, you're not a reading giant. Like,
240 books, dude. Hang on a second, okay? Because an average, because I mean they can vary, right? You can have like an hour, 2 hour book. Most of them are about 7 hours average. Actually, more like 6.
Right.
The ones I usually read are about 8. So let's just go on about an average of 6. So that's 1,440 hours of audio being consumed on average, right?
Right.
That's a lot. I mean, that's 60 days.
Bro, yeah,
that was literally 16% of his day was consumed by reading or listening to something. So times that by 24.
I mean,
4 hours a day. 4 hours a day.
To each his own, It
yeah.
Depends, what kind of motivation you have, and if you don't have kids or wife or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Like, we waste a lot of time. So, but my thinking is like, 240 books or 100 books. You know what I mean? Like, that's if I pick up a book, my goal years ago, and I've never achieved it, was read like 2 books a month. Like physically pick up 2 books and read them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that never happened. I mean, like, I was like dead in the water. But the point is, I guess, is like, like you say, redeeming the time, making time work for you. If you're reading, or at least listening to, you're controlling that content coming into your brain. You're whether I'm not used to it or not, there's some good coming out of that. Big period. I mean, it's no different than listening to radio or anything else, but it's like controlled content that you're interested in, that you're possibly growing in, that you're like sharpening your skill set, your mindset for. And it's like it's better than nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, it's better than saying, well, I'm not going to go to the gym at all because I don't have an hour to dedicate.
Mm-hmm.
Just get in there and get something.
Yeah, or like in our group, I love what our group is doing, because a lot of them have gym memberships that's in the 30-day challenge. But what happens is life happens, right?
Right.
You get busy, miss an alarm, something comes up, and they're like, hey, I can't do what I planned on doing, so like I'm going to go walk on my lunch break or something like that. And I'm like, dude, because I think that's more difficult to do. I think it's easier to give up on the original than to be willing to change and do something different that's still good. It might not be your original, but it kept you committed to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what you're saying, like how important it is to get your mind right.
Yeah.
And, because like your mind will typically default, or it tends to want to default to past patterns of behavior
Mm-hmm.
if you miss something, if things don't line up, if the stars don't line up and that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
reading, listening, being around people who can energize you to kind of like keep on pushing, keep on taking that next step is it's all part of the package of success. Of
Yeah.
moving forward. It's not just one thing. I don't think it's just like because like if it's one thing, we're too far to the right or too far to the left. I mean,
Yeah.
and for me, like this challenge, it's like okay, I gotta read some more. I gotta develop some more content for my brain. My
Yeah.
soul, my spirit. That kind of thing. I gotta increase my IQ, that kind of thing. And so, I that's the thing that I need to kind of push up against a little bit better, a little bit more. I wish I could say, I've had 5 days straight of reading for an hour.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I don't even know what my life would look like if I did that.
Yeah, no, dude, I get it. I get it. That book that Jim Collins wrote back in the day, Good to Great.
Oh yeah.
He
Great
said
book.
he said good is the enemy of great.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you this, something that I have found out in the past 5 years of my, at least about me. This is true about me, and I've figured this out. I think I still work. I have to work on this because of just my nature. But if good is the enemy of great, perfection is the enemy of progress.
Man, that right there, that's right.
I can't tell you how much stuff I have stopped because it wasn't perfect, or I didn't get my streaks, if that makes sense, right? I didn't, I said I was going to do this in a full week. I didn't do, you know what I'm saying? Instead of
Yeah.
recognizing, okay, it's one day.
Right.
Like, do I want to waste another day because I'm hung up about the fact that I failed yesterday? Or,
Absolutely.
that is a real thing I've had to combat in my life. Understand, because I'll tell you this, I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing, or I don't know, maybe this is just across the board. Like everyone is like this, but I think, well, let me say this. What I'm about to say, I think social media has made it worse, but everyone thinks everyone is doing better than they actually are. Like, I think it's really easy to look a lot better than what you really are. And I think
Absolutely.
social media helps that. And so what we do is we get this fake idea of reality. Like, even like with like family pictures, okay? You
Yeah.
see family pictures? Okay, do you know how long it took them to get that family picture? Do you know how much bribing went on to get
Right.
that
Right.
family
Right. Right.
picture?
Right. Right.
It was chaos. But we see that Instagram picture where everyone's like, oh, we just love each other. Bro,
Snap.
there was some
Snapshot of
fighting before
perfection.
that picture. I promise you. Somebody
Yeah.
got spanked
Yeah.
by the end of it. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Someone's phone was ringing. Someone had to pick it
Yeah.
up. Somebody had to walk away. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, you're exactly right, and I think social media is actually, guess what? We've never had a problem beating up on ourselves.
Oh, for sure. Well, here, I'll tell you this. I even like to flip the script on that. Okay?
All right.
And here's the script on that. Do you want the picture or not?
Right.
It's going to be a battle. You're going to have to change what you intended for it to be. But do you want the picture? If you want the picture, get the picture, right? Get the picture. But don't quit just because it's falling apart. Bro, let me tell you something. Most days fall apart. Are you willing to pick it back up and put it back together and keep running down the field? Man, I'm feeling good today.
Man,
Must
that's
be
some
my
good meat
tea.
right there. That's some good meat on those
Dang,
bones.
son, I'm living
Yes, sir.
inspired. Come on,
Yes,
man.
sir. Do you
My
want
pastor's
the,
been imparting some wisdom. Sorry,
man,
Martinez.
I
I'm
love
on.
it. I love it. Do you want the picture or not?
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that sounds like a whole series of
Picture
do you want the
perfect.
picture or
That's
not?
what we'll call it. And it'll be a picture that's ripped.
Yeah, right.
We're breaking that myth.
What picture do you want to leave?
Mm.
That kind of stuff. I you're you're exactly right. Do you want the picture or not? And like I tell you, you're right. It's like, we got to find a way. First of all, again, find a way to change the narrative, our mental narrative, that
Mhm.
silent narrative that only we hear when no
Yeah.
one's around, or when everyone else is around, but we just they just don't hear it, that silent voice. We got to change that. And of course, social media just exacerbated, just accelerated or just grew the volume of that voice in our head, because if we're trying to live for perfection, or trying to
Yeah.
follow the footsteps of the glamour of Hollywood and that kind of thing, or just our friends, and
Hmm.
who always are having a good time or what have you. But
You
yeah,
don't know
you're
what
you're doing
happened in
great.
between those pictures. You don't know what happened in between those posts. And by the way, you don't know why they're posting that. Maybe they're posting that because they are so broken inside, they need that acknowledgement.
Oh yeah, I mean they need to be able to look down there and see those likes. Ting ting. I got
Yeah,
10. I
yeah.
got 20
And
likes. I got
and by the
50
way,
likes.
that's if that like that's not like a poo poo on them, because my hope is that everyone are doing things in a way that you're doing it out of a place of health. Like, in other words, like because I do love sharing pictures of my family and my kids and what's going on in my life. Like, I want to be a part of promoting good things, but I also don't want people to, get a false idea that, like, I call it the happy clappy syndrome. Like, oh yeah, everything's always awesome. It's not. That's not the
Right.
point. The point is, he said, be thankful in all circumstances,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So,
Absolutely.
by the way, I just quick shout out. We've got Timothy Pruitt, the brother Pruitt, on saying good morning. We've got Nikki Linkus on this morning, Facebook. Awesome. Love that. Love that. Brother TJ had something great to add to this. He said, one thing when it comes to Bible reading, people make the mistake of trying to read too many chapters consistently. 2 chapters a day is more than no chapters. You can add more on days where there are more time, but 2 chapters a day consistently is more than most read a day. Bro, you're so right. You're so right, because that is you know, it's a
Absolutely.
discipline to do that, and like as a believer, like you don't just like, it's not like the Holy Spirit just wakes you up and it's like, all right, my child, it's time for you to, get into the Word, because, like, dude, you're waking up, you're getting the junk at your eyes, and you're like, oh, am I late? Am I on time? Like, you have to decide that you're going to be a disciple, in that sense that you're going to, if I really am redeemed, I need to start acting redeemed, right? I need to spend
Right.
more time with the Spirit than my flesh. So that's a
Right.
great point, Brother T. And let me
Yeah.
tell you something. He's one of the most consistent guys. I mean, if he tells you he's doing something, man, he is faithful to do it. So your words, man, they
Yeah.
do count. And we also have a comment. Alicia McCool, good morning to you. She said, good point about getting your mind right for change. I'm busy reading an interesting book about the very thing. It's scientifically substantiated by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Love him. Love him. And my father-in-law does too. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Great stuff. Great stuff. How
Yeah.
to Lose Your Mind. And in fact, it's funny, Alicia, because Martinez, myself, and Chelsea wasn't able to be here. She'll be here on another time, but we were going to talk about habits. And Martinez, the reason I told you earlier that this was so interesting that you brought that up is because I was going to make a book recommendation. This is something that has helped me. And by the way, I love that recommendation, Alicia, because I've seen that and I've yet to pick it up. That might be my next Audible purchase to go through and make it happen. But the thing that helped me was this book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And I loved it because I had read a few books about habits, and he kind of takes it all and makes it really practical, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, it's very like nuts and bolts. Like, hey, if you want to break a habit, build a habit. Step 1, 2, 3. It's very interesting, and I bet you there would be some parallels in that book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So I'm interested in that. That might be my next album. So I appreciate you
Yeah. Yeah.
recommending that.
Maybe somewhere down the road we can start a book club or something like that on something regarding books that we need to read or must read books. But
Yeah.
I,
You have a few of those, don't you, Martinez?
yes, sir. I have more than a few, but
Uh-huh.
I gotta get. But then I woke up and I forget how the dream goes. So.
Yeah. So what?
But man, I love what brother Pruitt said, Timothy, Tim, and as far as building that spiritual appetite, it just starts with just don't have to read 10 chapters a day. He said too. I would say for someone that's that's just trying to condition themselves, whatever you can do during the day. I mean, have a goal. At least get a chapter. But if you can't get a chapter, get half a chapter. But
Yeah.
you get to a point where you can look back over 5 or 10 days and say, hey, I was in it. I was reading something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
I'll tell you this. If you can only do a page, that would serve you better. And that's some of the stuff he kind of talks about in Atomic Habits is if you could start so small and increase that by 1% a day, like steadily moving up. He said the progress that you would make, the increase in, what you achieve would be so amazing. But more importantly, over time, because that's the truth. The habit is over time. You can't just and that's why I talk about, Today Matters, which is another good book. But you have to make up in your mind what you want to do, who you want to be 30, 60, 90, 365 days from now. But you can't get there if you're not willing to do today. And so there's this kind of a balance of saying, okay, I'm living today, but today I'm living for tomorrow. Like if I can put this in, what am I doing today that gets me to tomorrow? If that makes 12 months from now,
Well, Brother Jason, I mean, but you're exactly right, and I love what you're saying, and it triggered me. What something that I think we're trying to do here, but you're saying you mentioned what you have to decide who you are, or where you're going, and then and create foot traffic that way. Building on that habit each and every day. But I think the challenge though is a lot of us really aren't sure who we are or where we want to go. And so it's really hard to understand where to go, how to even create momentum in that direction potentially, because we don't know who we are, what we want out of life, what we want out of day. We have some grandiose, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be, I want to have the body of an Olympics, star or something like that. But it's it's wishland, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's, and I think that's what we're trying to do. I think in this getting up in the morning and talking is how to help people form themselves and to being the person they want to be, and but I think there's a lot, who am I? What do I want in life?
Yeah.
I mean, it's and what am I willing to do today to create, commitment in that area,
Yeah.
And so again, I think we shouldn't, just run past that, that idea of that everybody, we can't assume everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
What they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I don't know who I am. I forgot. Hey, real quick, because we got about 5 more minutes, but this is something awesome. I just looked down and we've got Lucian Linkus in the clubhouse, Martinez. I think,
Lucian
yes.
Linkus in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I want to bring him on and let him, if he's good, I might bring him on and be like, no, I'm good, right? But I want to give him that opportunity that if he's on, maybe he's got some final thoughts to this conversation today. So I'm going to click you in and invite you in now, Lucian. If you're available to come on. If not, completely understand. But I do want to give you that opportunity. I think I just sent that request to you. And there he is.
Can you hear me?
What's up, man?
What's up, Luke?
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, living a dream.
Yes, sir.
Making that money.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You better do it.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, I don't know how long you've been on this conversation. Number one, thank you for, man, doing this, hopping on the Clubhouse, like, because this is where conversations are happening. Like, this is so much fun. I really enjoy this, but man, I want to give you the opportunity to maybe speak into the conversation, or whatever you want to say, but you have got the final thoughts, final closings today.
Well, I came in late because I've been in the texture booth, and that I came and saw my phone, and it's like, oh, finally a Clubhouse I want to listen to.
Sign me up.
Too kind.
So I got y'all's alert, and I was like, oh, finally, because I'm still getting used to the Clubhouse thing. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool stuff. No, but yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Good day. I'm not sure what y'all's topic has been this morning.
Oh, you're good.
Y'all have a cliff note?
That's right, man. Dude, we've been talking. Let's see here, Martinez. The highlights would be learning, but it all kind of come together in habits. Like we're talking about, the change of mind is what changes the habits, right? I'll go to the gym because I've had a change of mind, not just because I decided, well, there you go. I decided, right? I made a decision. So yeah, just along those lines of habits. We have a couple of book recommendations. Alicia McCool said that she recommended Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I've recommended Atomic Habits. And just this idea of, because that's kind of what we're doing with this 30-day challenge, right? Is we're actually trying to build, it's not like 30 days and we're done. Like this is 30 days to invest in ourselves to build a lifestyle change. It's that sprint into a new version. So that's kind of the cliff note. What's your thoughts? How's things been going with you on our challenge?
Going great. Of course, I felt like I've already had a pace because I took this whole thing about 3 weeks ago of just motivating myself to make a solid change. First of the year was pretty strong for me when we started our fast, and I felt a major change when we kicked off our 21 days of prayer and fasting in January. So that was a good start, but I just felt in myself. I'm like, here it was the first part of March. I've got 3 boys that pretty active, and I want to stay active, but I just wasn't feeling it. Just so I'm like, what I'm doing is not working, and just got tired of the whole routine of life, and just feel like I was just in a hamster wheel and didn't. I need to change. So I used to be more active. I used to love to work out. But, life happens. But,
right.
It's like I said the other day, there's so many things you can talk yourself out of.
Absolutely.
And that becomes habitual in itself. Well, I've got this reason today. I've got, it's the same day. I still got to go to work this morning, so I ain't got time for the gym. Your mentality becomes a habit. And so every day it's the same old thing, and you get used to that and be like, this is my life. I've accepted it. I'm accepting buy another size of wardrobe because I put on more weight during COVID.
Right.
Because it's easier. It's easier to run. You don't think you can do it. I will say, back in March when I started working out, it's like all I could think about was, oh my gosh, 9 years ago I was running. I got up to 8 and 9 miles a day or every other day because I was half marathon training, and I'm like, I can't get a dabbling mile behind me.
Brother,
what is wrong?
Line, get in line. We're in the same line.
So and I was like, okay, it's just going to be baby steps. And I shared my progress yesterday in our Telegram. That I'm like, holy cow!
Hey, share that with this group that's watching, because that was awesome.
I mean, 3.5 weeks. I started out, which I was happy. I just did like y'all remember the old app, Run to 5K, and it got you in a regimen of walk this, run this,
Yeah.
walk so many minutes, run so many minutes.
Mhm.
Well, I started with that mentality. I'm like, this ain't gonna be an overnight thing. This is a lifestyle. If I just go in, if I say, well, I couldn't run a 5K today, so I quit.
Yeah.
No, I knew it was going to be a daily challenge, and so
Mhm.
in 3.5 weeks, I was able to shave 3 minutes a mile off, and I was able to run nonstop again. I got myself up to almost 30 minutes without stopping and having to walk. And then
That's
I
Yes.
awesome.
started.
That is awesome.
I was going 2 minutes on, 2 minutes running, 2 minutes walking, 2 minutes. I kept building myself up. Then I would go 3 minutes running, three. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for four. Going to go for five. Well, I went in with this week. I was like, this is our 30-day challenge. I'm going to really push it. I'm going to push myself. So I did, and so therefore I just kept going. I'm like, oh man, I've been going 8 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay. And so, and I feel like my body has been building those habits.
Right.
And so, I walked in the door this morning of the gym, and I said, I posted on my story, one of the hardest hurdles of anything, but especially like working out, is walking through the door.
Yeah.
You dread you dread just walking through that door.
Yes.
Right.
It's
Right. Right.
but you get through the door, you've accepted the challenge, and you're like, let's go.
Yeah. I'm already
And
here.
that's what.
Right. That's right.
So
That's right.
so you just got to make the best of it. Had a later morning this morning. I was pretty sore. Had a long day yesterday, but I was like, I'm going to get it in. I left feeling great. So it's just
It's
then
awesome.
your video you shared yesterday for motivational, and I shared this um, in the Telegram, and I shared it on Facebook. But that
Yes. That was so
that
good. Tell them about that.
you know the Bible says the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Well, we think of a thief, we think of stealing something tangible. We think he wants to take things out of our lives
Right.
that are materialistic or opportunities.
Yes.
But if he kills your joy, if he's stolen your joy and your happiness, he's he is feeling accomplished,
Right.
because if we live the life of fear and dread of the day, when we wake up, you dread the day. Guess who's got your power? Guess who's got your joy? So, you know, and this is a challenge of every aspect. I said, you know what? I'm not only going to change my physical body and mentality, but I'm going to keep feeding the spiritual side of my life.
Yes.
You've got to feed every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
that's what I'm taking in this. And so, it's, hey, and through this, because of what this does, these challenges that we're doing every day, you're going to see in a more abundant living in how you feel and what you think of yourself, because that's the crux of how the enemy attacks our minds these days. Is if I can get them to think they can't be accomplished, that they can't be successful, I've done my job. I've
Yeah.
got them right where I want them. I've got them distracted. They don't have it. You don't have a calling. Look at you. You don't have the look. You don't have the appearance. You don't have the knowledge to be what you thought you could be. And so, you know, it's an everyday. Paul said, "I die daily."
Yeah.
That's habitual.
Yeah.
If you can kill your flesh to the spirit every day, that becomes a good habit.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
completely. That's good
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah. I love the intentionality of what everything you said, Lucian. I mean, everything you said is just energy intended to go one direction, and that is succeed in what your goals are. I mean, whether it's working out, whether it's now it's working out and being at the gym and running, but now you're kind of like mushrooming into feeding yourself spiritually, and I know you're not new to that at all, but I just love because what you're really creating a different mindset for your not just for you but for your whole household. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean, when you win, your whole household wins. When
Yeah.
you win, the kingdom wins. and I just love it. I just love
Mm.
And I'm not even having a loaded tea yet today.
See there? Look at there. I got mine's upstairs mixing right now, or in a hot water. So I'm about to pour mine in ice and add water and get ready for the day. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we went a little over, but you know what? That was worth it.
Talk so long.
No. Let me tell you something. That was good. We needed that, and I appreciate you sharing your win, not just the result that you achieved physically, because that's what we've talked about. This is not what you think it is. Yes, we're going to get better physically. We're going to feel better, but the truth is we're going to be doing better. We're going to be doing better because we're going to be changing who we are, right? Because the disciplines that you're putting into this, like, it's what I say. It's something I heard a mentor of mine say, and I believe it. I believe that how you are in one thing is how you will be in everything. Maybe not equally, right? There's some things maybe you're better at, but I'm just simply saying the approach is going to be the same way. So if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. So it's just awesome. Go ahead, Martinez.
And I was about to say, gentlemen, and you all know it's better than I do, and that is, we have children of God, people who are living for Christ, who are being like for years and years and years, and they're dealing with some of the same stuff.
Yeah.
They're still compassing the same mountain over and over again, and it's been with them since they were a child, and then they're like, they've gotten married and they brought their wife in it, and now they got kids and they're bringing their kids into it. And so I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about myself too. Is that victorious living?
Yeah.
And and the thing about it is, it's like, no, I don't know all the background, none of us do, of everybody's challenges, but the thing about it is there are certain things that we should be able to say, I will see you no more. Just like the Israelites never saw the Pharaoh once they passed that cross the water. You will see them no more. There's certain things in our life that we should never see anymore ever. Period.
Yeah.
And so, like, victorious living is not an ongoing default of, well, I'll try tomorrow, or try, and it's 10 years of. So I said that to say, what we're doing is not just 30 days.
Yeah.
Of just physically getting fit or whatever. Really, what we're doing, in my humble opinion, at least I like for us to do, is create a lifestyle of mental and physical and a more important spiritual giants to, like, walk away from stuff that we'll never ever see again.
Yeah.
I'll share this briefly, and that is, February of 2020, I quit eating meat and dairy. I'm 50 plus. I my whole life. I came out of the womb with spam in one hand and a chicken bone in the other hand.
Come on, man.
I'm a connoisseur meat eater, bro. and I've never really ever woke up, never ever had a desire, to, like, exclude that from my life. But here it is, more than a year, and I have not eaten any dairy or any meat.
Really?
I've been vegan for, what is this? We're in March, so more than a year and a month now. And so, and a part of the reason, not just one, but part of the reason I wanted to do that is because, listen, I want to be in a place where I'll never have to say I'm on a diet. I'm never going to have to be on a diet.
Dude, that's good.
I'm never ever going to be in a place where, where the me, and I'm taking myself out of that negative energy, that negative arena.
Yeah.
If you don't put yourself in a negative situation, you're not going to get a negative outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of like, if I don't bring sweets to the house, then I'm not gonna eat those sweets.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point being is like someone, and it's not, we all have our own journey, but someone has to be a light. Each and every one of us has to be a light for the saints who really believe that, living for God is, just includes just going to church, but you do the same thing over and over again. I mean, we are in the world but not of the world, and I'm looking for, and I want our people to live a victorious life that supersedes the generation before.
Yeah.
Because like if you're a third, fourth, fifth generation apostolic or child of God, how does your life, your manner of blessings that fall on you should be even that much more?
Yeah.
Because you had a father or mother that went through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So victorious living, like trying to create a lifestyle where you will never be introduced to some of the issues of life ever again.
That's right. That's right. Dude, that's so
Pastor
good.
spoke Wednesday night. We've lived our lives really not believing greater things you shall do than me. I don't think we've had that confidence in our walk with God to actually see those things, and that's where we have to change our mentality.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Anyway, I really, Lucian, I love what you were talking about. Where you were talking about, I was just had a smile on my face because I was like, I've been there, where you training for a half marathon and being able to run hours on end, and and then you look back and you're like, where is that person at, and but you're building every day on a more beautiful and more complete you. And obviously, just because don't want to set you up for a fall, but like keep on going. I mean, just because
you have to keep going.
You miss a day or so. I mean, the thing about it is, man, we are the leaders in different ways. And I mean, who's going to continue the mantle? Who's gonna pass it on?
Right.
And it's like, what does victorious living look like? I'll shut up about this, but here it is. We, the children of God, have been conditioned, in my opinion, that when they get to older, their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever. And by the way, the help that you have in your 20s, you'll take in your 30s. The help that you have in your 30s, you'll take in your 40s, and so on. But the thing about it is, we've been conditioned that it's okay, and the world's conditioned us that it's okay to be on medication, multiple medications, at the older you get. And I think we've kind of like absorbed that. We've kind of lived that. We've accepted their narrative, and and I think it's sad for any of us to be up in older age to be mortgaging our health by having to take medication. On top of that, we're eating food that's not medicine to our medicine to our bodies. All I'm trying to say is, not to lose the point, is that like I want to change that mindset.
Sure.
That you have to that when you get older in life, you should be living in an abundant life in every area. You shouldn't be weighed down in financial debt. You shouldn't also be weighed down in physical debt by having mortgaged your body with all these medications. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mortgage your body with laziness and sitting on the couch because you haven't learned how to be active. You know what I mean?
Sure. And I like what you said. It's one of those, this is not geared towards, hey, you need, because there are things, thank God for some great advancements that are so helpful. But I hear what you're saying. You know, the question is though, it's like okay, it's like a car, right? There's always things you can do to make your car run better. But the question is, are you getting the oil changed? You know, like, are you doing the essentials that are going to keep that, you know, that going, and everything else is based on, you know, the age of, right? There are things you start doing to a car because look, it is older, but did you take care of the core, right? Are you, right? Nutrition, health, hydration, right? Like, or fitness, right? You know, it's just these things of, you know, building habits. And I love that, Martinez. I can hear your passion in that. And anybody that can become vegan and stick to it, you ought to listen to that dude, because I'm with you, dude. I have not mentally thought about doing that. But hey, I'm not closed to it either, right? Maybe if Jay Alexander's will go out of business and stop offering that New York strip, right?
It's so funny. Just last night, I had a dream that I was out and I had a chicken sandwich, and it was the best chicken sandwich.
The best. Whose was it? Whose was it? Huh? Whose was it? There's a lot of people offering chicken sandwiches. Whose was it?
I don't even know. I think I may have even been at Jay Alexander's.
Eating a chicken sandwich? What's wrong with you, Martinez?
I love those chicken sandwiches. I go there. Back in the day, I used to go there and get their burgers. That's all I eat is their burgers. They were actually fantastic. But
I bet.
I think they have one of the best burgers in town. But yeah, man, it's like you know, I don't listen. There's no way I couldn't have done this by myself. Like, Robbie is.
You better have helped you, didn't she?
Oh my gosh, she's preparing 100% of the meals, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
But the thing about it is, it's like, even being vegan, I had to refine that, because, you know, you can just because you don't eat meat or dairy doesn't mean you're necessarily vegan.
Right.
You know, it just means you don't eat meat or dairy. Like, vegan to me is concentrating on fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, and I can go through a whole day without eating a live fruit or vegetable. But like,
right.
You
know what we're gonna need to do, Martinez? I think this needs to be a topic, because I don't think people. I think there is a lot of bad stuff out there. When I say bad stuff, there's a lot of negativity, unnecessary hate on vegans. But I'll tell you this: I've talked with you. Brooklyn's done it before when she gets into training, which that's crazy. Like, how she can just snap like that's a different mindset, and I love that. So we might need to get a little information from you on what does it really mean to be vegan and what exactly that's all about. By the way, Team Pal, I see you on Facebook. Good morning. Hey, thank you for being here. We're a little OT today, but I'm glad that you were able to hop in here. But we are going to go ahead and close the morning show. Martinez, thank you again for being on. I love that like you are here and you add so much value. And Lucian, you are the new panelist.
The real MVP.
You hop on here anytime, every time you can, because, dude, I'm telling you right now, that was so powerful, you getting on here and sharing. So I love it. And everyone that was...
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, dude. Isn't this a great deal? Like, everyone should start getting on Clubhouse and just, you know, join the conversation. Like, add value to people.
Yeah.
And everyone on the stream, thank you for showing up. Thank you, TJ, Nikki, Alicia. Alicia, great book recommendation. Seriously, thank you so much. And Team Pal, y'all are awesome. I love all of you all. And remember, I want you to do this. I want you to be blessed. I want you to be great. All right? This is going to be an awesome Friday, because you're going to make it that way. Have a good one.